Hello and welcome to another episode of How To with Paul Henderson. Today's video is going to be on my miles per gallon update on my Jet Performance Powr-Flo M.A.F air sensor. I installed this air sensor back on 1/10/2024, and I did notice a very small increase in miles per gallon with the city highway driving after the installation of this M.A.F airflow sensor. Now, I did take 2 trips after I installed this, and there was an increase on the first one. Although with the first trip I took, I drove 211 miles and I got some pretty heavy traffic. So the miles per gallon isn't exactly what I thought they would be, but they were still pretty good for being stuck in traffic going to the destination and then coming back. And then I just got back from Vegas a few days ago. So on 4/7, I took a 576 mile trip, round trip to Vegas and back. And I definitely got an increase in the MPGs after installing this Jet Performance Powr-Flo M.A.F airflow sensor. And I did do this on my 2019 Chevy Silverado All-Star Edition double cab with the V8 5.3 liter Ecotec 3 engine, disabled dynamic fuel management, 8-speed transmission, and in case you're curious, a 6.5 foot bed. And the color of this truck is satin steel metallic. So let me go ahead and sit this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put up one of my log sheets. So this is the log sheet that shows just the trips I've taken since I've owned the truck. So that should be, I don't know, I put it on this side. So we'll see. So anyway, so I took 6 trips prior to the installation of the Pulsar LT. After the Pulsar LT, I took 6 more trips, and then I installed the Jet Performance M.A.F airflow sensor, and I took 2 trips after that. So here is that sheet right here. So the 6 trips I took before the Pulsar LT, the lowest miles per gallon I got was 19.0 and 19.9. Then I had a couple where it was 20.8 and then a 20.1 and a 20.5. After the Pulsar LT, where I deactivated the DFM, the lowest I got was 19.3, 19.9, and then there was a few where I got a 20.7, a 20.9, and right in between there I got a 19.6, which isn't bad at all. So that proves, without a shadow of a doubt, DFM does not work. It does not do what they claim it does. You're going to get more miles per gallon. In case you don't know what DFM is, it stands for Dynamic Fuel Management. Prior to DFM, they had one called Active Fuel Management. That is where if you have an 8-cylinder vehicle, it goes from 8 cylinders to 4, 4 back up to 8. DFM is where it goes from 8 to 4 to 3 to 6 to 5. It can actually go down to 1 cylinder. Now think about it. So you're cruising down the road, my truck's a V8, so it goes down to 4 cylinders. When you want to pass a vehicle, you step on the gas, and then those other 4 cylinders have to kick in instantly. To me, that's a lot of stress on the engine. It doesn't do anything, except you'll have a potential lifter failure, which I did at 5,000 miles. So on 1/10, I installed the Jet Performance M.A.F airflow sensor, and I did 2 trips. The first one was to Denny's in Barstow, 211 miles. I used 10.3 gallons of fuel, and I got 20.4 miles per gallon. That's not too bad considering I had traffic in Riverside and when I got to the destination, and then the same thing when I came back. I got some traffic in Victorville, and then I also got some traffic in Riverside when I got back. And like I said, on 4/7, I took a trip to Vegas and I drove 576 miles and I used 25.6 gallons of fuel, and I got 22.5 miles per gallon on that tank. Now, all these are round trips. Now, whenever I take these trips, I try to travel at least no more than 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. There are times when I have to put it in passing gear to get past a semi-truck or a slower vehicle. I don't like driving behind semi-trucks or next to them, so I might have to speed up to like 80, 82, 85 miles an hour to get past them. But pretty much all these were just 5 miles an hour above, except for the Reno trip. That was the first trip after the Pulsar LT installation. I did some high-speed driving on that one, drove 1,407 miles, but I averaged for that round trip 20.7 miles a gallon. And then there was a Vegas trip right after that where it was very windy, and I did the normal driving, just 5 miles an hour above. Occasionally I went up to 82 or whatever just to pass the vehicle, and that's where I got 19.3. So this Jet Performance Powr-Flo mass airflow sensor does exactly what it says it does. It has a much more precise reading of the incoming air that comes in through the front of the vehicle and goes through the air box and into, what do they call it, throttle body. So now it's getting the proper reading, and then the computer goes ahead and readjusts whatever it has to adjust for optimum drivability. I guess that's how you would word it. But here is another sheet I'm going to go ahead and put up. This one is dated from, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Okay, so this one is dated from 5/28/2023 to 9/28/2023. This is prior to the Pulsar LT installation. The lowest miles per gallon I got, and these are all city highway driving, I got 13.6, 13.4, and then I have a few 14.7s, a 14.8, and then the highest I got during from 5/28 till 9/28 was 19.9. No, 20.0, sorry about that. And then there was a 19.9, 17.4, so not too bad. And then on the second page, this is dated from 10/3/2023 to 2/28/2024. Prior to the Jet Performance installation, the lowest miles per gallon I got was 14.1. That was on 2 occasions. And then there was a 14.0. There was a 15.0, a 15.6, and then a 16.6, 17.4. Now on 110, that was when I had filled up my truck, and then I also replaced the mass airflow sensor. On the first trip after installing that Jet Performance, I had got 18.5 miles a gallon, and that was just a city highway. The next one was 17.7, and then of course I went to Denny's Barstow. That was 20.4. That was a round trip, the whole just one tank. So what did I use? 10.3 gallons of gas, so I got 20.4. Like I said, there was heavy traffic both ways. And then the next 3 are strictly city highway. I got 14.3, 16.6, and 14.8. And then on this third sheet, which is right here, let's see. Okay, so between 3.6 and 3.27, I got 15.8, 15.4, and 15.4. And then on 4.7, I got 14.8 miles a gallon. And then of course I took that Vegas trip. So on the way up, I got 21.4 because there is some uphill climbing. On the way back, I got 23.6. So in all, the Vegas trip up and back, like I said earlier, it's 576 miles, 25.6 gallons, and I got 22.5 miles per gallon average for that entire trip. Now for the lifetime of the vehicle, when I purchased the vehicle, there was 11 miles, so I filled up right when I left the dealership. And between now and that 11 miles, I drove 53,792 miles. I used 3,315.1 gallons of fuel, which averaged 16.7 miles a gallon. And I'm currently sitting at $14,815 in cost for the fuel that I used for this truck. That really sucks because it's not 5 years old until the end of August, which would be what, another, what month are we in? April? You got May, June, July, another 4 months. It'll be 5 years old, so I'm sure I'll be over 15,000 by then, which would be just over 3,000 a year. Ah, that sucks. Yeah, so anyway, let's go back to the DFM. So the 6 trips prior to the installation of the Pulsar LT and the 6 trips after proves that DFM sucks. And the 2 trips after I installed the Jet Performance mass airflow sensor proves that this did increase the miles per gallon. Not by much, but it did. And over time, it should pay for itself. I think in a previous video I said maybe 30 tanks of gas, it should pay for itself. I don't know. Because it seems like the city highway, I did increase maybe 0.1 to 0.2 to maybe 2.5. We'll just say a 0.1 mile per gallon increase was the least. Maybe 0.2 to 0.3 would be the maximum increase in miles per gallon that I got since I installed the Jet Performance Powr-Flo M.A.F Sensor. Well, that's it. And I think it's worth it. Some people say it's not. It is 225 bucks, and I bought it from americantrucks.com. So now I do have a spare one. Inside that box there is the original OEM one. So I'm going to keep that one just in case this one ever goes out. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of the mass airflow sensor, how it looks right now, connected it, installed in the vehicle. And as you can see, it is really close to the air filter. And that is why I will no longer use a K&N air filter inside of this aftermarket Chevy GM authorized, factory authorized cold air intake system. Is that the right wording? I also have the Stillen cold air intake scoop, which I'm sure that kind of helps because that brings in a little bit more cooler air that'll go into the air box and into the throttle body. So just so you know, they don't recommend it. I don't think it says it on that box, but from what I've read in the past, that if your mass airflow sensor is really close to the air box, you don't want to use an oiled air filter. And if you do, make sure it's not over-oiled, because if it is over-oiled, some of that oil may be pulled through the air filter and onto the mass airflow sensor, and that will mess up the sensing wires that are inside that sensor. So just stick with the paper. It probably filters even better. I mean, I'm still going to change the one on my motorcycle, and I will try to do a close-up photo of that filter, and when you look at it really close, you might see some holes where maybe some stuff can get through. Well, folks, that is it for this video. If you liked it, tap the like button, tap the subscribe button. That really helps out my channel, and the bell icon, and you get notifications as new videos come out. If you want to make a small donation to my channel, tap the super thanks button underneath this video, and anything I get goes right back into my truck. I know I said this before, I still got some things I have to make a video on. I did buy some carbon fiber look 3-piece set for the steering wheel to cover it up, even though I have a leather wrapped steering wheel. I bought this from Amazon. I think it looks bitchin', and it'll protect my steering wheel from if my hands are dirty. I'm gonna do one for that, I don't know when. Maybe I'll do it after this video, but that's it. And I do recommend this Jet Performance Powr-Flo M.A.F Sensor. And like I said, you can buy it from americantrucks.com. Well, that's it. And I will see you in the next video. And may your truck suck in nice clean air. I don't know. I always have to say something at the end. Well, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye. Test 1, test 2, test 3. I installed this air sensor about, let's see, when did I install it? On 1/10/24. And this, test 1, test 2, test 3. Hello and welcome to another episode of How To with Paul Henderson. Today's video is going to be on my, damn it. All right, test 1, test 2, test 3. I always have to say something at the end. Well, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.